Welcome to my YouTube channel, International Relations and Political Science and World Affairs. Today's topic is very important. It is about the novel War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy and its significance in present age of confrontation. This is the book's photo or book's picture of War and Peace. Now let us start. The momentous novel War and Peace was conceived and written by illustrious Russian writer Leo Tolstoy, which was originally published in 1865. Novel is regarded as Tolstoy's finest literary achievement and remains an internationally admired or acclaimed classic of world literature. This panoramic study of 19th century Russian society is regarded as a mastery of realistic detail and variety of psychological analysis. Tolstoy started writing War and Peace in 1863 with his wife Sophia Tolstoy at his country estate, recalling the impact and effects of Napoleon's War and Crimean War. It is one of the work of genius of Russian literature and one of the world's greatest novels. The War and Peace is divided into 4 books comprising of 15 parts and an epilogue in 2 parts. It concerns with the fictional characters and consists of essays about the nature of war, power, history, human psychology, and historiography. The novel covered the period from 1805 to 1820. Era of Catherine the Great. The writer brought to light the destructive perspective of war. The war brings devastation, misery, hunger, disease, poverty, and afflictions in any society for next generations. Tolstoy conceived the idea of war as he personally witnessed the colossal impact on Russian society. He referred the impacts and results of numerous wars fought in Russian history and the valiant efforts of the Russian people's resolve to rebuild their country and their shattered lives. Tolstoy was instrumental in bringing a new kind of awareness through his novel. His narrative structure is evident not only for its God's eye point of view over and within events, but also in the way it summarily and flawlessly portrayed his ideas into real life. Tolstoy adopted new style of portraying events that stirred the souls of not only Russian people but also people of entire world. Through his masterpiece, he proved himself as a master of world literature. Leo Tolstoy analyzed psychological instinct of man for waging war and desire for leading a harmonious and peaceful life. Central notion and theme of novel was reorientation of human instinct for peace and compassion. War and Peace is the best known for its realism and tireless research on era of Napoleonic wars, which made a novel of living history. The novel contains the real picture of Russian society before the Napoleonic Wars. He revealed the prevalent disloyalty in relationship, the society was mixture of treachery, debauchery, gambling, and other vices which created enormous socio-economic problems. The people were mainly selfish and materialist. The novel's primary historical setting is the French invasion of Russia in 1812, which was a turning point in the Napoleonic War and a period of patriotic significance to Russia. Some historians argue that this invasion was the event that changed completely the nature of Russian society into the Decembrist movement years later. That is the main reason that the ideology of communism was gaining ground and people were willingly adopting it. This is the picture of destruction of war of Moscow during war. Now, background of French and Russian war. On June 24, 1812, French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte invaded Russia with a huge army, also known in the European history as the Patriotic War of 1812, to force the Russian Empire back into the continental blockade of United Kingdom. There was a massive toll on human lives. In less than 6 months, nearly 1 million soldiers and civilians died due to extreme weather, disease, hunger, lack of food. The Russian people started guerrilla war against French invaders. The Russian peasants and Cossacks caused enormous loss to the invaders. The Russian army adopted policy to save its people and continued to retreat under its new commander-in-chief Mikhail Kutuzov, who decided not to defend the city but to urge general withdrawal to save the Russian army. Moscow was a very important city but not the capital of Russia from 1732 to 1918. Remember the date of Russian Revolution in 1917. St. Petersburg served as a capital at that time. This war turned the lives of Russian people. The Tolstoy, as a sincere human and European, were perturbed over the mass destruction of European people. The massive loss of Europeans in war affected his thinking and forced him to analyze the vainness and futility of war and benefits of peace for European people as a whole. As usual, his writing could not influence the European from taking lesson from noble novel emerged into future world wars with colossal and clear devastation and destruction. This is the picture of Napoleonic War. Now, relevance in present age of significance or relevance in present age of confrontation. It is a sort of instructive novel in which the Tolstoy first seeks to test the history of relationship between war and peace and then proves war as absolute futile and useless exercise and fruitfulness and dignity of peace for mankind as a whole. The novel has a meticulous appeal in the present era of world which is haunted by spectacle of war between major powers like Russia and NATO countries over Ukraine, and war-like situation between United States and China over global issues. And there are also many other issues in South Asia, in Southwest Asia, in Africa, in Europe. There are many other unsettled global issues that may endanger the peace and tranquility of world. The consequences and impacts of the sanguinary wars are visible in social and economic fields. The world in the annals of human history has witnessed innumerable wars in which millions of people perished. The people have massacred, are brutally killed and annihilated as fellow beings, irrespective of race, color, creed, religion, or ideology. The prime motive was to conquer others and subjugate humanity to flourish their empires and satisfy their national prestige and economic greed. The United States and European allies are not willing to take lesson from past sanguinary wars and not follow pro-peace and pro-people policy. They are habitual of following policy of persecution. They are trying to reintroduce old policy of exploitation of natural resources and human resources of other countries with impunity. They are again maneuvering to colonize entire world in one way or the other. Brutal views of economic exploitation is culminating into confrontation between East and West. Naturally, strategic and economic superiority breeds animosity among major powers of the world. This contrivance and animosity would be a formidable cause of the destruction of not only Europe but also entire world. The unsatiated greed of Europeans culminated in the world wars. Still they are ignoring even the prescriptions of European philosophers. The world has witnessed that mighty European powers remain victor with empty-handed and utter destruction. The extensive impact of confrontational policy would be visible in political, social, and economic fields of life. Wars tarnish social fabric and bring catastrophes not only for present generation but also for future generations. The policy of confrontation followed by major powers would further damage the economic progress, peace, and harmony desired by Leo Tolstoy 1 century ago. The major powers should follow those prescriptions. Otherwise, many capitals of countries would be on fire and extinct, like Russia. Moscow was on fire. This is a picture of suffering of war victims in Ukraine. Wish you good luck and take care of yourself and others. Thank you. See you in next lecture.